All right. The pre-Halloween Lucky Dip session here. And let's just get in it. Let's get in it. I want to get in it. You get in it. Oh, by the way, guys, I don't know if you guys noticed, and I don't know how many people are actually on the YouTube channel of the VODs. I did post a funny little video there that announced that we made it over 500 subs. Remember, that profile is not about how many subs I get or anything, but I didn't realize that you needed X amount of subs for certain perks to work. So now all the hard work that Turnip has done for us all by putting the chapters and the videos that were not showing up on the little slidey bar thing are now activated. So that's cool. Yay, and thank you, Turnip. And then also, finally, the little links in the description box have been activated. So that's all I care about. The rest of the perks that come later, after 1,000 subs, nothing. But at least now we can now skip to my loo. And I think I've got probably about 18 VODs up there. So just wanted to give you guys that as a heads up. Hey, Inside Vortex, how's it? Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming by. All right, guys, here we go. Saturn Velvet Club, Nemistry official video. All right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. I really would like to have some background on this Saturn Velvet Club. If they've been around a long time, or maybe I'm listening to, a super indie release or something like that. The sounds, the synth sounds and all that fully reminds me of more of the 80s vibe. Once again, we can't tell if it's more recently produced. Maybe they say, hey, we want it to sound this particular way. Very unique little chord changes and melody twists that happen there that make you every once in a while go, kind of get that little vibe of like having a Sour Patch Kid. You're eating a gummy bear and it's got a little bit of a sour bite on it that makes you go, whoop, whoop. Like, hey, what? Whoop. But it is really a super trip. And it's also, it doesn't seem like it's overly compressed or anything on the top, like maybe it hasn't been mastered or anything. But the simplicity of it is just to kick in a snare with the occasional MIDI key and the bells. The bells way out there also remind me of kind of an 80s style placement in a mix and stuff. And as far as the vocals are concerned and what I'm looking at in the videos, it almost feels like it might be like a short flex on a Devo kind of vibe. I don't know. You tell me. I like that old Casio vibe percussion right there. The other thing I want to say about this, it's just makes it really fun to me. It's lighthearted and stuff like that. Is the fact that it doesn't sound like it's quantized at all. So, however, this producer, artist, composer, maybe it's an all-in-one individual that did the recording at least. There was not any quantizing happening there, and you know, I kind of like that in a very macabre kind of way on a Halloween kind of listen. Only because, you know, if it does when it is all quantized up into the perfect down, you know, everything is perfectly hitting the beats and everything like that. Yeah, it kind of leans into being more of an EDM-ish, straight kind of, you know, techie kind of vibe. But the fact that there's a little laziness on the bass playing, a little laziness on the keyboard playing, a little laziness on the bell melodies and stuff, makes it sound like I envision a guy or a gal, I don't know, or a band, just having a really good time, just making music, you know, and not worried too much about the technicalities of being overly perfect, you know? That's my thoughts. That's a weird little part of the keystroke they used there. This was a trippy song. Maybe this was just somebody who independently, excuse me, independently having some fun and released it. You know, I don't know. I don't have any history of the band and the individual that asked for it. Obviously, that's from last week's Lucky Dip. I thought it was nice. I thought it was a very mellow way to break my ears into the day. Because sometimes I get the people's elbow right up front. I'm like, let's go. But I as an opening for today for all of us personally, I kind of liked it. It kind of reminded, it just vibed me into that 80s kind of vibe kind of thing, kind of. And it also too, the video too had a little bit of the Cars kind of an attitude, like I said, a little bit of Devo attitude, you know, that or early Peter Gabriel Shock the Monkey kind of vibe-ish attitude, something like that too. All right, so here we go. Do 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 da 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 da. What was I just singing? Anybody know? Anybody know? Anybody know? Okay. All right, I'm on today's Lucky Dip now, guys. You guys are hitting it. All right, so let me start with, how about, I'm going to start with this one here. And let's do it. Yes, it was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Shadow, and Patty Cakes. Well, you know what I just realized, guys? Forgive me before I start this. This is going to be Echo of the Damned Call of Duty that we're going to be doing next. Before I start this, I had no idea because I'm just really not out there. But I guess Willy Wonka and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory were two different titles. Was Willy Wonka the one that Johnny Depp did? Or was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory the one that Gene Wilder did? I was talking to a friend of mine, and he goes, no, the other one. I go, well, they're the same, aren't they? But apparently not. I don't know. I thought I'd ask that really quick. Willy Wonka, the Chocolate Factory, is the Gene Wilder. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Oh, it's the same. They didn't. Charlie was Depp. Okay, so there wasn't a twist on the title when they released it. All right, I was just curious. Look at me. This was totally lucky, but I'm feeling kind of orange. Orange, pumpkin-y, scary. You see pumpkin dude in the... this was just lucky. So here we are from our lucky dip. And you know who you are. Who requested this. This is Echoes of the Damned. Call of Duty. Black Ops Cold War Zombies main theme. Let's do this. What the heck? Why did it do that? Wait. Bastardo, I pressed the wrong button. Yeah, really quick. Or and I, yeah, not quite yet. I'm going to announce a little donos a little later, but I want to get through some lucky dip first. So that's where blah, blah, blah. Here we go. I'm going to try to hit the right button this time. There we go. Additional arrangements, huh? Dissonant stuff happening up in here. Done right there. Super cool thing that this composer, or these composers, additional arrangement by James McCauley. I don't know exactly what that might mean. Maybe that the main composers, Kevin Sherwood, may have given him the tracks and he did additional arrangements, or was a sometimes there's such a thing as a ghost composer, something that gets credit, or if this is a mashup, I don't know. The anticipation, the darkness of the heaviness is really uniquely pulling, because you have all the darker, heavier stuff, but you have the little arpeggiation of the piano. The piano doesn't necessarily represent ominous, dark heaviness, though it can as an instrument, but as far as games are concerned, when they rely on a lot of darker pads and unique sweeping sounds of digi-analog style synth. Something that was really super cool in the probably at about 30 seconds to about a minute and change is that you heard this kind of bowing resin kind of, and it sounded like it's a double bass or an upright bass that, you know, a lot of composers use for those lower, but sometimes you can go below what the instrument, that last note really has. You can continue down lower and get some more heavier, darker vibes. It sounds like that's what the composer did there. Now we're also dealing with soundscape. So there's a lot of soundscape also causing anxiety, which is non-tonal, like all that kind of ripping sound that's going on in there. But it would be interesting. You guys tell me if you guys remember what's going on while this music's happening. That's that gnarly soundscape or sound design. I love that with the strings. Spooky. I really love this part, man. There's this seesawing of tension and then release. Tension, build, 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 release. As simple as this is, it's so mesmerizing. It's so cool. That was great. I so loved that piece. Actually, it reminds me of some other tracks that I was listening to last week when I was listening just to some horror movie scores, and I came across like a B movie that was kind of meh as far as visuals was concerned, but the composer did an incredible job, very similar to this. So you guys are telling me that Kevin Sherwood is the through and through composer. And so I kind of, it kind of reminds me of what Mike Post used to do with like Hill Street Blues and all the super, New York style detective movies and stuff, or anything that Mike Post did. Mike Post would write the theme in, let's say, the first half of the season. Then he'd have his writing team, his other writers, who he'd be bringing up through the ranks, picking up on other additional compositions. And that usually worked out. That worked out great for the other writers for many different ways. They wouldn't get the same amount of money, definitely, even in the back end, as Mike Post would. But it was a great opportunity to still earn some money, get some creds out there, and build your name out there. But Resident Evil. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. I do now. It's going to. I agree with you, Velm. And by the way, welcome. Thanks for dropping by and saying hi. What did you just remember, Jakin? Okay, let me go to the next one. Who are we doing here for the next one? So that was for Jake Zyra. How you, buddy? Let's do something else. Let's go to Patty Cakes. Oops, I want to make sure I do this right. Okay, first I want to start doing this because I'm gonna go like this. How do I highlight this with the color? Hang on for a second. Give me a second. I want to highlight a block with a color that tells me that I did it. I'm trying to look how to do this. Edit, view, data, tools. I don't know how to do it. Blah. Oh well. You guys will tell me if I repeat myself. All right, here we go. How about this? Mad Monster Mansion by Banjo Kazooie. I think it would be this one right here, guys, by chance. I'm not sure. Right here. Give me a second here. Let me go back to this. Patty Cakes, which one? I don't see the list of videos. Okay, wait. Let me get back to the list of videos. Stand by. Do you see the list of videos now? Scroll up. Which one would you like? Let's see. Let me see if this will make it a little easier. Okay, yeah, this one loops. This one doesn't. So I'm going to go with number 2 here. And let's do this. If it loops, there's something, you know. Just a small few of us here hanging out today. If I got to start over and I did the wrong one, you do the right one. All right, patty cakes, let's go. This is Mad Monster Mansion, Banjo-Kazooie. All right. Let's get into that Halloween stuff. Let's go. A frog out of nowhere. I love that kind of it's a go-to setup when composers are doing this kind of fun music, and it's going to be a lower double bass kind of boom 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 boom, but you hear a boom boom boom, which is usually the bassoon or maybe a bass clarinet would be holding all that. Then there was at the very beginning the classic Halloween sound, the theremin kind of vibe, like at the very beginning, is super classic. Of course, hearing a church organ. In this case, I don't know what game this is. Banjo-Kazooie must be a game. And also your typical representation of skeleton would be the wood blocks or the marimbas, you know, because that would be kind of like the skeleton walking around. But there was one little area there where the bells, the really high bells, was holding a very fun or running a very fun melody, while another set of bells were running the melodies here. So, and those bells were tucked in the back. But that oompa 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 Hear that theremin in the back? I love the frog comes in and out. A little bit of a circus composition vibe. That's the loop, okay. I want to listen to it a little more. You know what I just listened to? Now that I'm listening, I'm glad it was the loop, but I just heard something else there. There is a double bass line going on there. So I want you, I'm just going to go back here and then we'll listen to it, and then I won't go through the whole thing with you guys. But I want you to listen that there's like the obvious one that we can hear, za, 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 za. And then you hear, let's just say it's a bassoon, like it's a synth bassoon or a funky sample bassoon, you know, boom, 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 boom. And I want you to listen, just close your eyes and listen, just slightly deeper and pulled behind. There's a whole different bass line back there. It is very trippy stuff. Okay, I know we're in the loop now. It is very trippy. I like this. This is really cool. Now, I'm sorry, I did ask the question, but I don't think, I think I might have scooched over this. So Banjo-Kazooie is its own game. It's its own kind of, this isn't a part in another existing, like a, and the composer is Grant Kirkhope. Okay. It's a trip. Well, I got it. Maybe I should check that out. I'll look at it on I was gonna say Spice. You know if you know. Remember the Spice channel way back? Steam, because I still have to pick, you guys. By the way, on Discord, there's still, I don't know if it's open or not. My mods could tell me which video game I am going to be playing on Tuesday. A spooky, jump scary video game on Tuesday. Everyone's going to walk me through it next week. So anyhow, check the Discord for that. Okay, here's another one that we got going on. What do we have here? The Tragic Prince. And this is from, stand by, Castlevania, Symphony of the Night. Did I watch it already? I didn't think I watched it. Wait a minute. Could I have? It looked like it. The line goes all the way through. Hey, Male Choir Blade, how are you? I have listened to it. Okay, right. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yep. It looks like I listened to it. But that's okay. Turnip, what else? I'll wait for you, because I went up to your name just because I just lucky spun it, and that's where it went. So I'm going to look for a backup. We don't have to do it right this very second, Turnip. I'll come back to you. Let me get on another one here. Okay, here's an artist that ever since I had my Composer Lounge, the Decomposer Lounge, everyone said I've got to do some music from this guy. And I've never gotten around to it, but heck, if he's made it to my Twitter, David Maxim Micic. So I do know that this gentleman is a instrumentalist and a guitar player. So at least I'll have that going for me. Yeah, okay, AA. Yeah, I'm just looking at titles. I'm not really looking at who's putting it in there. I'm just titles and whether they're artists or games and stuff. But this is a good recommendation. I'll finally do one from this composer. So let's do this. A bit of a 7 minutes. So let's settle in and let's do this. All right. Like a 7/8 over 4/4, I think. Nice. Doesn't this sound like it could be a little chiptune bit? At least he's staying with the meter long enough to build and let me sink into it.
As I lay in bed, I found myself thinking consecutively. And I thought.
I love the use of his ambient synths in the background.
That sense of nearness of God that sometimes comes into the stillness and darkness. I stood my trial, my only trial for that moment of wrath and fear. I found myself sitting up in bed staring at the dark.
You know, a lot of super slick metering going on throughout this whole thing, but what really is really pulling for me as how I listen to it is while there's this intense meter work that's going on, mostly led by the chunky and chugginess guitar work, obviously with the drums and stuff, you find that a lot of the arpeggiations in the back is what's really keeping that zip line of what I would say more of a broader accessibility to people who might not be that well seasoned and listening to music that has a lot of meter flex in there. So you'll still hear in a lot of the sequencing that's going on in the back. Plus, I love how this composer is using a lot of the pad to give me a little bit of a nice spaciness on this journey, because when you're doing instrumental, that's also what the instrumentalist is doing. Obviously, is writing their piece of work, but it's the response, the reaction that we listen to an instrumental piece. It's the journey that we get in our head. It doesn't all mean the same thing to different people. Some people say, hey, I'm flying through the universe, this is great. Some guys going, well, I feel like I'm, drowning in lava or something. Everybody to each his own. But by the use of those ambient ethereal kind of pads in the backgrounds, it always just gives you that sense of like a lucid journey, even though the meter in this is pretty so dig it.
And suddenly that night became terrible. Great indeed.
Love the sound of the snare.
Insanely face to face.
Ooh, I like that with the guitar.
God. Strange night.
Dream Theater, yes. Kind of vibe. That drummer knows how to jerk that around real good. A little bit of a respite here. They're giving us a chance to settle in. Great guitar tone. Hear that in the back, right? Don't you hear that chiptune kind of vibe in the back here? This is perfect for like a chiptune track. Giving us a little bit, slowly pulling out the needle. I like that so much. To me, that shows intention with the composer on wanting to take you on a particular journey. That's just how I feel about it, is when they do stuff like that and they bring us off like that and they close us off nicely. You know, I mean, there's fades, there's hard stops, all different ways to do it. There's not one way to do it. But I like in this composition that intention to just let us go on the pads. Did you guys, I mean, I don't have a lot of experience and I'm still fairly ignorant on how many bands sound like, let's say, Yes, or like a Dream Theater or something. So whenever I say, hey, it sounds a little Yes, a little Dream Theater, it could be a dozen others as well, but because I'm not familiar with the bands, because I don't have that kind of deep discography and listening, you know, I'll always say, well, and whenever I hear something as progressively composition as this, and then the second I hear keyboards, well, you know, I'll think of Dream Theater automatically, because Dream Theater is one of those bands that is just as affluent in making sure the keyboard has a good place in not only the mix but in the arrangements and stuff. That guitar solo was phenomenal. The guitar tones in this was incredible. There were some comments people were leaving here about the chunkiness and the cleanliness of it, which is something I've never learned to achieve on my tones and stuff, because I'm not, you know, I'm not educated on how to do it. But that has a lot to do with tone management and stuff like that. That's why those chunks sound so great when they're muted. You know, there's no clipping, there's no noise gate clipping that's going on there, if at all, and if there is any noise gate at all. And it doesn't warrant it in the performance, because it's not an overly saturated tone that might have a hangover buzz of a millisecond or something that might cause it to kind of slightly lag in its space. The guitar solo tone was absolutely stunning, and on top of it, the absolute metronomic, you know, playing metronome style perfection of his playing was one thing, but so much so what made it more amazing is that he had a very vivid left and right delay over that solo, and at the speed he was going in his 30 seconds on there, the perfection of timing on there was obvious in his delay. It was a fairly long delay that he was doing that, and if you're slightly off at that kind of throws a little bit of a weird quirk in it. It was perfect, just perfect. Now I feel bad that it's taken me 2.5 years, almost 3 years, to get to a David Maxim. I'm going to say this wrong. Micic? I don't know if it's Micic or Micic. I don't know. Forgive me. I'm just trying my best. But now, yeah, I'm going to definitely have to dive deep into some discography there and be influenced. It was. I was coming up with some very unique things in my head melodically too with it. Great piece of work. Micic. Oh, okay. Thank you for that. All right. So there you go, man. Who else am I going to grab now? Let's do, how about Hail the Nightmare from Bloodborne OST? Oh, look at I put Oust from, oh, you can't see what I put there. Okay, Bloodborne, which was another, one of my very first gaming listening experience, which is actually blew me away here. So, so let's do this. Let's continue on our grind here. And who is this from? Let me take a peek here and do a quick shout out. Chuck Dingle. Chuck Dingle. This is for you. Are you still here, Chuck Dingle? I'm doing this here for you. You're gonna go cook dinner? Okay, well, that's okay. Food is life. But you know what? Of course, these videos go up on the YouTube VOD channel. So if you're not subbed to that, right now, my mods, one of whoever's hanging out with me, I think Turn Up Smorin' for the long haul. I think 1 AM Bus is here too, aren't you? There you are. If you, before you bail, if you haven't clicked on and joined my YouTube page where I put all my VODs after Twitch while I'm done. So if you got to go eat, you can come back and catch this. So, okay, hi, you want it? Yes, you are. Of course, distracted you are. So whose was this? Hang on for a second. I saw somebody drop by. Chuck Dingle. Hello. And welcome, too. First time chiming in on the chat. And thank you for coming by. All right, we're doing this then. Let's go. This is Bloodborne, Hail the Nightmare. All right. Ooh, nice. I like that with the choir. Ooh. I'm gonna unwrap my Spad Musubi to this one. Is this one of those video games that has its own language? Oh yeah! Wow, that's great! Damn, who's the composer for this? Bruh. You know, what's intense about this, and it does have its own language apparently, the darkness and the heaviness to me is exponentially plus 20 fire damage because of the voicings the composer used in clustering his arrangements in a very close pocket. If you're a musician, a composer, a guitar player, pianist, you know what I'm talking about, and it's clusterings, especially when it comes to choral arrangements and stuff. Almost every instrument except monophonic instruments, you have an opportunity to do its voicings. You can play it this way. You can play like 3 notes or 5 notes or 8 notes in a voicing. You could stretch it out over 2 octaves, you know, as you're playing, like if you're a pianist or something. But if you take them all and cluster them really tight, you get that really super gnarly vibe that I think all of us got when it sounded like it was about a 5-part piece that was there. And it's also all in its lower registers where the men, baritone, bass, even some of the second tenor kind of work. And then you have this alto first soprano melodic thing that's happening there, but it's so concentrated, so packed. But somewhere way behind it, there's a very low, drony male vocal type, and I'm not talking about the singular line. And that pulsing of that clustering of that music of that composition is so freaking dark. That was it? Dang, that was my whole Halloween playlist right there. That was one gnarly piece. And it really pulls you down into the bowels of the unknown, really dark and heavy and stuff. Well, not a lot of moving stuff going on there as far as multiple arrangements doing a lot of quirky things. On this particular piece, the composer really focused on just keeping you throated and heavy, like something sitting down on your chest and stuff. You know, and never let you out. It's kind of what I would call that, like the nose above the waterline kind of vibe, you know, and that you don't want to start the coughing process. You don't want any water in your nose, so you're just kind of hovering right here and just pure panic and fear. That's what this launched out at me. This was great. Matter of fact, I got to listen to this again because it kind of reminds me of some older work that I did, except now it sounds 10 times a bazillion better with a great, you know, composer. But it just reminds me, and it also reminds me of a little bit of work that my grandfather did. He was a choral composer in Argentina, you know, in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s. And so I was like, oh, wow. Kind of a little bit of nostalgic strike there. Let me see here really quick. I want to answer somebody. I did see a message come through. Hi, what is it? Wisdom Tooth Coming. How are you? Thank you so much for coming, and I'm glad you found me. The band Can. I've never heard of the band Can, but if you want to drop it in on the Lucky Dip list here, and if I get to it, you know, drop in the band and a title of the track, and hopefully I'll get to it on this listen. And at the very top of the chat, you'll see this little link here. It says starting with Lucky Dip, and hopefully I can get to it. Excuse me. Yeah, that contrabass vibe too. I'm sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit. Let's see. Did you do their Dogs Were Astronauts? What was that? Truzo Kia? Was that on my Lucky Dip, or is that an extra? Is that another Bloodborne thing? In the meantime, while you answer that, let me skip on to another Lucky Dippity Doo. Let's go with. All right, let's go with Vestiges of Time, Sigma Harmonics. Stand by. Okay. Who was that? Whose was that? Oh, Mo Choirblade. Okay, this is yours. I'm just looking at titles going. Is this a video? What, on YouTube? Is this a video game? Looks like it. Huh? Can't tell. Before I it is a video game. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, and the composer is Masashi Hamauzu. Masashi Hamauzu. Super chill composer. Great, I look forward to that. Hey, really quick, I want to circle back into one thing. I had Shadow. What's up, brother? I had no idea that's what musubi meant. Is that really what it means? Tightly wrapped what? Tight. I got to go back to your comment. I was cruising, and I saw bound together tightly. Wow. I had no idea. Thank you for that. That's actually very cool. I had no idea. So now I can use this in a metaphor. So instead of it being a spam musubi, it could be a dog musubi or something, and it wouldn't quite mean the same or something. I don't know. I don't know if the word musubi is just used strictly in the confines of it being a spam musubi, or if the word musubi it can actually be used in different ways as well. It's an English brain trying to decipher that, but I think that's a trip. All right, guys, let's do that. Sigma Harmonics OST, Vestiges of Time. All right. Nice little arrangement that signifies kind of time, a clock turning. Nice subtle build in the arrangements. Nice. I like that. You know, I gotta say, I mean, I love the building of the arrangements. Obviously, there's a pattern that's being repeated. That's got that 6/8 vibe kind of thing going. And so there are new arrangements that are being added up higher and higher. But you know what it really kind of remind me of is kind of the production arrangement style that Sting used in Soul Cages, or Como de la Soul as well, where Sting did an incredible job on taking these beautiful patterns like this and adding these subtle arrangements to give it growth. And then just when you think you're in it, there's going to be one or two notes that might be played. Like there was a passage about 5 or 6 bars ago where the string arrangement did a little bit of a pattern that at like the third beat and third measure in gave you a little bit of a noogie. You're flying. It gave you a little like little dissonant. You know, it didn't repeat itself again, but and then now it's just giving us this nice, beautiful breath and relaxing moment to get to the next arrangement. But I love this. I think it's something. So I never went to school to be a composer or anything, so I don't know if this is part of any kind of syllabus or curriculum in teaching composers about the world of arrangement, but it is to take an 8 or a 16 bar pattern and start to add to it, and bring different techniques and colors into it and stuff. And to me, that's one of my favorite things to do is arrange more than I actually do compose. I can compose, but arranging, you guys know what I'm talking about. If you're an arranger composer, there's a difference. But I love that kind of work. Oh, I like that. That's great. There we go. Another composer with that kind of intention to kind of bring it into you, let you grow through the piece, and then slowly bring you down and out. It is one of those tracks. To me, this is one of those tracks that you could actually put on loop on a playlist and really settle into. Even if it's background music to your day, you're cooking, you're doing work on the computer. That's the kind of track that can kind of breathe in a lot of space behind there, and it does never sounds repetitive. But I really enjoyed this track. Who was it that did it again? Mr. Choir 7. I'm sorry. I don't have my thingy open. Mel Choirblade. Yes. Thank you very much. That was super, 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 super sick. And that was a great listen. I really appreciate that. Yeah, it is one of those kind of tracks that you can just go ahead, Shocked the Frog, a recognizable style. Yeah, that's the other thing, because I don't know also where this is at as far as a video game. A lot of times I'll listen to pieces of work and not realize that it's, there's leitmotif being represented somewhere in it because it's a fresh listen. I got to eventually get to a place where I want to settle down. Remember I did like the Ori listen through, or I did lately. What was that other one that I just did somewhat recently? Boulder Dash 3, Gate 3, or Boulder Gate 3, or something like that, where I listened to like 15, 18 tracks. I think I'm up for another one of those coming soon. So Baldur's Gate, yeah, that was it. Thank you, Jack Zyra. Thank you very much. Okay, who's coming in next? Speaking of which, let's try, I don't know, what is this? Duck in Play. Q-Lat 2, I don't know what that means. See how this comes up. This is Mr. Frog Buddy. I think I noticed the name was Shock the Frog. Is it Shock the Frog that wanted this? This is called Q-Lat 2. And I don't know. Freeware game from 2001. Okay, great. Let's do this. Looking forward. All right. From the Lucky Dip, I shall dip into the luck. And some spam musui. All right. Funny enough, I love the throatiness and no pun here, but the frogginess of the bass line. You might also actually say it has a little bit of a ducky quality to it, which is like part of this name, Duck and Play, whatever. That bass line. Now, what's really fun about this is that I thought I was on the one, before the drums came in. I was like, ding, ding, ding. And they did this nice little trick wraparound where, it didn't, what felt like it was going to be the downbeat wasn't the downbeat, was the second beat in the measure. It felt like. So I like it when composers do stuff like this. Now, apparently this said this music is played using a Midas sound system. So maybe it was internal game, or because you guys said, Frog, you said that this was freeware. So maybe within its freeware, it had its own little sound system. So it's got that analog Singy kind of, it's between the 8 and 16-bit kind of style of composition. Maybe it had limitations and stuff. but it's all very, you know, that kind of old school analog from you know, a contained sound card vibe. The little strings back there. Doesn't it sound like there's a little bit of a slap in that? It's super funky. There's no two ways about that, but it's really neat. Did you? I don't know if you guys. It sounded like it was a little bit of a slap or a pop in there. I mean, because it definitely is a synth drum, unless I mean a synth bass, unless maybe it's possible that it's a bass that's driving through, you know, MIDI and stuff like that. Drum programming on this is really good too. Little swatty monophonic line there. You know what I'm, if you're a keyboardist, you know what I'm doing. I like that little itty bitty inconspicuous percussion right there. That was good. Was this a PC or a mobile phone freeware game? I really dig that. Did you hear that weird little noise there? It wasn't me. I loved it. That was great. I thought that was killer. And it's very unique in the sense that the sounds and everything, like I said, the fact that it was coming through, I guess, a sound system, which I know nothing about, if it was some kind of inner software sound card design that they had. I know. Sorry about that, Bert. It was. I'm sorry. I'm old man failing. All sphincters on both ends are weakening. No. TMI, not really truth. I'm just saying. I will say one thing about getting older is that when I was young and I'd see older, you know, men, mostly men, because women still know how to, you know, clutch, but, you know, have burps and stuff, and it's almost like they don't give a care and they'll burp at a table or close by or something and not try to hide it. It just starts to sneak up on you a hell of a lot faster. By the time you realize it's happening, it's already, you know, a green onion cloud in the air. But that's what just happened. I'm sorry. Okay, so what am I going to come up into next here? Go ni moyu. Okay. This sounds like it's French. Soko ni naru. All right. Obviously, I was kidding. It sounded like French. Oh, we have a guitar player here, or is it a band? Is this a band, or is this an individual artist that I'm going to listen to? Looks very interesting. Shadow, you still here with me? Right up. Retro Gamer, how's it? Okay, so this is what I'm doing. Kyo koyu ni moyu soko ni naru. All right, I'm doing the best I can. Let's do this. All right.
日々の間に埋められた小さな幸せ僕の体を今にも蝕い込んだ何をしていたって止まらない600のリードが僕をあやめる
Wow, that was great. I love that fill. Man, this is absolutely sick. I don't even know where to start because the arrangements are so abstract and they pull us in and out of like more mainstream kind of pop sound during the hook. But a lot of the instrumentation that's going on in between it all is really super intense. A lot of the start-stops that are happening there and the arrangements in between the start-stops. The bass player's taken on quite a bit of the heavy, steak, meat and potatoes of the arrangement along with the guitar player. It's not like it's kind of a sit-back pattern in an arrangement as in an addition. There's a lot of that, super powerful unison stuff that's going on. And or there's also that one little breakdown where it's and I love how the bass tone really resonates and jumps out there. Great musicians. These guys are great. The kick, the drum kit sounds everything just sounds fantastic. But I love that their stop-starts are not over-showy. There's something to be said about that. A lot of stop-starts in compositions could be more show than glow. And the way they approach this is not quite taking me to a place where it's getting too herky-jerky. So it's keeping me in line with their lead melodic work. And then by the time they get to what I think is their hook, it sounds like their hook. It's more, it cracks open to be more pop culture, rock pop culture style compositions. It gives you a second to kind of, okay, here's the hook, here's the hook, here's the hook, here's the hook, here's the hook. Now we're going to go into da 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 da, and the in and out too of the hard dark tones with the guitar, the overdriven, metally rock kind of vibe into the super clean on a lot of things. It has what's the name? dare I say it, math rock-ish kind of vibe, you know, something like that, yeah. Oh, that bass tone. I like that chord there, that ninth. That's great. Jesus. Wow. That track absolutely kicked ass, and I think everybody here can agree with me on this. That what I had said earlier, a lot of starts, a lot of mathematic musical composition that's going on in there. We're seeing a lot of tapping that's going on there. We're seeing a lot of polyphonic work on the bass as well, which is more than one note being played at the same time. Excuse me. And the two times, I think it was only two times that they went into that kind of more pop hook aspect of it, the drummer did an incredible job of gliding us into that pattern and keeping us in there because he kept it really straight and going forward. But this last third of the music was really super abstract in its composition and all the change-ups and stuff. But it worked and it flowed all the way through. Like I said earlier, there's not too much herky-jerky that's throwing me into, God, where are these guys going? It's like I, as a body of work, as a song, I understood the trajectory and where it was moving towards. You know, one thing's for sure, it looks like it's three people in the band, but there definitely were overdubs, you know, holding the arrangements. There were arrangements in the background that were holding behind the solos or some of the leads. There are some things that are happening in the back. But also, I just have to say my last thing about this. The engineering on this was absolutely epic. This is once again, and I'll keep saying it till the day I die. Hopefully that doesn't happen for another minute or two. But the engineers become part of the band, part of an integral part of the process, especially when it's this complex. You know, I would love to be a fly on the wall, or just I'll take a look at the snapshot of their DAW during the mixing session on this. You know, and what they were running and how many plugins were cooking and ripping through it all, as well as, you know, some of the cut, stop edits and how they managed that. The engineer did an ace freaking job on this, without a doubt. All right. Thank you very much, Shadow. I appreciate that. That was a great listen. No, thank you, bro. That was a great listen. All right. Who am I going into here? This is going to be... Who do I have here on my never expanding? Okay. Oh, here's one that looks a little. This might be calming. I don't know. But I am familiar with this composer, and the name of the track is "Stained Brutal Calamity" in Terraria. Terraria. Wait, "Stained Brutal Calamity" Terraria. Oops. and Terraria, whatever. There it is. Pog. What's up? All right, so this is, I believe this is the one. I think so. Let me see if the person who put it here is still here. Rumble it. Oh yeah, that was you, sir. Yes, there you go. You did say you went pog. That's you. You've been pogged. I've been pogged. I don't know if that's what it means. In Hawaii, we used to have a game called Pogs. I don't know if it was Hawaii only, but I'm pretty sure. All right, Shadow, do you remember Pogs? You may not be that old. Us old farts. But oh, it was nationwide. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know Pogs was nationwide. Such an old fart. Because I only saw it, you know, here in Hawaii, I'm thinking, oh, this is really cool. We used to do it with the little poggy things that you get from drinking thingies or whatever. I thought, oh, this is great. That's something that we do here. Oh, it reached the UK as well? Oh, that's killer. I had no idea. I should look that up in a second. Okay, well, let's go through this, though. This is Terraria Calamity mod music. Stained Brutal Calamity. Okay, wait a second. Hang on for a second. There's a couple versions here. Let me see here. Hang on for a second. Rumble SEB. Which version did you want me to do here? Oh, the second one is the music. Okay, great. I got you. Wow, that's 12 minutes long, guys. Allah. Does it repeat? All right, here we go. Yeah, straightforward schematic. You have your two bells, your organ, you got your string arpeggiation, and your sus. But believe it or not, what I'm really enjoying is the snare work. Alrighty then. Oh wow, alright. So this is part of a game soundtrack. So this is a long piece. What was going on here? If anybody played it, does anybody remember? Look, chord change there. Wow, what a trip here. You're saying this is a boss fight? This whole thing is a boss fight? I mean, it's really super powerful. Obviously, the instrumentation and the arrangements, I mean, and the sounds that are being used are more contemporary module, hybrid, orchestral sounds and everything that's going on there. But it's really ginormous in a musical theater kind of vibe, you know? The one thing that's obviously keeping me really super intrigued is I'm listening to the choral arrangements, because a lot of the chord changes are you know, chromatic in a particular way, and there are a couple nice little sneaky things that happen in there. I definitely was a little bit taken back in that guitar riff shift that we got into in it, but the choir is ginormous, and it's been in your face the whole time, except for this. Even through this section here, where there's a lead vocal that's happening in there, it's still a predominant thing. But I mean, it's huge. But I'm just looking at it at a 12-minute piece that this would be like they think it's going to take you that long to play through it, so they would write a piece of music that long. And I love that the chugs that are going against the kick are not so in your face. Ooh. Nice little shift. Nice changes here. I needed that. love. Pulling from like a Renaissance vibe there. Bring it back. Here we go. The power in. Little fun chord change there. I like that. Here, a little. That way back top tube bell back there. Nice. Sounds like we're only hearing the return of the reverb on the piano there. That's cool. Calamity bells, yeah. The bell pattern stayed the same through that little chord change there. It was very nice. God, I love this very subtle nightmarish kind of vibe. Like a spiral vibe, you know, in Theater of the Mind. I was going to repeat out, okay. Well done, man. Long ass listen. Well done. Giant, you know, the composer really stayed really heavy, you know, on the choral aspects of it, the full, rich, thick arrangements. There wasn't anything specifically that stuck out for me as far as the melody in this as much as the power and you know, the chromatic chord changes and stuff. All of that was really super cool. But I did like, what I did like was the integration of the rock aspect through these arrangements, but still left the power first and foremost choral And those arrangements up front, even though the drums were going off, you could still hear, like I told you before, there's times where there's a lot of stuff going, the kick's doing the 16ths for about, I think, 4 or 6 measures. The guitar is right on top of it, but they didn't shove the guitar in your face. It was more of an additional, dynamic and a nuance than it was like, oh, we're going to turn this into a metal piece. So sneaking that in and out there. And I just want to double check. This was Terraria. Isn't Terraria? I can never say that. Isn't that kind of a mellow game? I don't know why I'm thinking, that it might be a little like Stardew Valley-ish or something, but I'm not too sure. Just in my mind, when I saw it, I went, oh, this was going to probably be a mellow track. I was wrong. Powerful track, though. Powerful listen. I'm glad I got my opportunity to listen to it. And I guess that's the name of the composer, is DM Dokuro. DM Dokuro. Somebody had mentioned here that he left, like he was burnt out, like he used to do a lot of the work and then he peeled away. So, all right, we're going to do one more song and then I got to take a break. When I get back from the break, we're going to start doing some donos here. Now, hang on for a second now. I've already got some people who've parachuted in, so, and I got to leave by about 4:30 my time, so, gives me about another hour and a half to do stuff. So, yes, if you guys want to do a cup of coffee dono, you can start firing away, and I'll try to get them all in before not I bail. If not, I'll pick it up for tomorrow. But in the meantime, I want to do this one last track here. This is, oh, of course. Who doesn't know this one? Of course. Of course, who doesn't know Monster Mash? Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's all get ready because we're doing the classic song of all songs in Halloween, Monster Mash. Okay, and so let's do this. Let's all get our dancing emojis ready. I'm not going to stop through this because obviously I know what song this is, and we're just going to go for it. So everybody, for our Halloween burn, I'm talking about the candles in the jack-o'-lanterns. I mean, what other burn could possibly I be talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, let's do the legendary Monster Mash. All right, get those dancing emojis ready. Let's go. Let's go.
I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. For my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise,
He did the mash,
he did the monster mash.
the monster mash.
It was a graveyard
He
smash.
did the mash,
It caught on in a flash.
he did the mash.
He did the monster mash. From my laboratory in the castle east to the master bedroom where
Everybody,
the vampires feast. The ghouls all came from their humble abodes to get a jolt from my electrode.
They did the mash,
They did the monster
the
mash.
monster mash.
It was a graveyard
They
smash.
did the mash,
It caught on in a flash.
they did the mash.
They did the monster mash. The zombies were having fun. The party had just begun. The guests included Wolfman, Dracula, and his son. The scene was rocking, all were digging the sounds. Igor on chains, backed by his baying hounds. The coffin bangers were about to arrive with their vocal group, the Crypt Kicker
They
Five.
played the mash,
They played the monster
the
mash.
monster mash.
It was a graveyard
They
smash.
played the mash,
It caught on in a flash.
they played the mash.
They played the monster mash. Out from his coffin, Rex's voice did ring. Seemed he was troubled by
Just love that
one thing.
50s vibe in the
Opened
recording,
the
too.
lid and shook his fist and said, "Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist?
It's now the mash,
It's now the monster
the
mash.
monster mash.
and it's a graveyard
It's
smash.
now the mash.
It's caught on in a flash.
It's now the mash.
It's now the Monster Mash. Now everything's cool. Drax a part of the band, and my Monster Mash is the hit of the land. For you, the living, this mash was meant to. When you get to my door, tell them Boris sent
Then
you.
you can mash.
Then you can Monster Mash
The monster mash.
and do my graveyard
Then you can
smash.
mash.
You'll catch on in a flash.
Then you can mash.
Then you can Monster Mash. Mash! You impetuous young boy. Mash good!
Monster mash.
Ah, what a classic.
Monster mash. Monster mash.
You know, one of the things about this track that I really love more than anything is the fact that, you know, the purposeful, obviously it's, you know, it's slapsticky and everything in its production and everything. But I love that whole 50s kind of kick-it vibe and stuff, the way it was recorded. Everything's mono. It's not these blowout stereo. You know, the piano's this little piano in the back, upright bass, the drums and stuff. Really super repetitive on, obviously, it was the mash, it was the monster. It was like 3.5 minutes where it was really an 8-bar. Every 8-bar you went back into the hook and stuff. But I think nostalgically, you know, it's just one of those super, super, super classic pieces of music that, at least for myself, and, you know, whenever we did Halloween in my house or with my daughters and stuff like that, you just had to, it's almost like you got to start the evening with the Monster Mash song, and then you can go and do all kinds of different stuff. And so, anyhow, like that. All right, guys, listen. Monster Hash. Monster Hash. The Monster Hash. I mean, corned beef hash is what I meant, right? That's what you meant, right, Shadow? Monster corned beef hash? Yeah, exactly. It's just a great party playlist song. Okay, guys, so I'm going to take a break. When I come back, we're going to start hitting some of these donations that are dropping in right now. So let me just get a track back set up here. And let me go back to my old song that I had running here. So give me a second here. Oh, as a matter of fact, maybe this is what I'll do just for now. Stand by for 1 second. Let me see if this will do it. Hang on. I mean, I'll let this run if it continues through. Is it a playlist? Yeah, this is a playlist. All right, guys. I'm going to let this run while I take a break. It should be no more than 10 minutes. I go to the restroom, refill my water, do my usual stuff, and then we'll get ready for all the donos that are now starting to drop in. I want to thank all you guys for that in advance. Thank you so much. Let's do a little bit of Nightmare Before Christmas soundtrack while I take my break. Let me flip my screen to this coming soon thingy. And then I'm going to hit this. Enjoy.